select. Game option. Team versus. Characters select.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the latest randomised gaming fight screen. Apologies for a few minutes late starting. I am your host, Random Gamer Riven, and with me tonight, as always, is
Random Gamer Dragoon.
And in today's Fight Night finale, we are going to be battling out, well, weekly finale, we're going to be battling out over the King of Fighters 94 Re-bout. This was the 2004 remake of course, King of Fighters 94. So it was actually like a 10-year anniversary thing. And just to confirm, hi there, Peter. Nice to have you back on the stream again. Always nice to have someone coming back to watch our streams here at Randomised Gaming. So just to confirm, for the benefit of everyone watching and for sort of a few legal things, King of Fighters 1994 Re-bout was released in 2004. It was developed by SNK Playmore and Ukiyotei Company Limited. That's Ukiyotei Company. It was published by SNK Playmore and it was released on the PlayStation 2. I believe it was released on the Xbox as well, but it's pretty rare. It wasn't released in Europe. We have the Japanese only PS2 version. I think it may have got I'm not sure if it got 360 released in Japan, but don't quote me on that. So without further ado, I think we'll kick right straight into some action. We've previously done a video on King of Fighters 94, but we didn't use the open source scan converter at the time, so this is going to look really nice and shiny in this stream. I mean, this is probably the iconic game. So the King of Fighters series technically started with the original Fatal Fury or Goru Densi. That was actually called the King of Fighters, but the series itself became its own beast in 1994 when they started making actual spin-off games. Effectively, it is a Fatal Fury Art of Fighting spin-off, and it has probably become more well known than both Fatal Fury and Art of Fighting. Art of Fighting petered out after 3 games. Fatal Fury is still-ish around, or Goru Densei. And certainly Goru Mark of the Wolves really is the defining game in the Fatal Fury series. Either that or Fatal Fury Re-bout Special, which is a phenomenal game. So Dragoon and me both basically favour the Fatal Fury team. I'm actually a Joe Hishigashi player. Dragoon is an Andy Bogart player, so he's actually got the advantage from the get-go. I'm not actually a big fan of Benimaru, I have to admit.
He always felt like a weird setting pose.
Yeah, the lightning punch and things didn't quite work. I think this version, as I recall, this is like literally a remake of 94, so moves that they had in later games are actually missing. It's a bit of an odd one, although I think it does include some later elements. It's a kind of a weird halfway house to some degrees. I kind of wish it'd been done on the Neo Geo, if I'm being honest. You kind of miss those Neo Geo visuals, I have to admit. The dodge system's an interesting one. I seem to recall they took it out of the later King of Fighters games. So there was some sort of SNK did play around a lot with their franchise.
Yeah, most notably the early Fatal Furies had 2 lines which you fought on.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. You used to jump between, and then they sort of added it into an evade feature. I kind of liked the parallel tracking system. I think implemented it was a feature that I think probably actually worked quite well in the Fighter, but I suppose they kind of went with the Street Fighter system. Infamously, Capcom did get quite upset with SNK because they did see them as stealing a lot of their games. So ideas as well. So basically, the character Dan from Street Fighter was actually an insult to SNK in the fact that dear old Dan, had the head of Robert Garcia and the body of his fighting partner Ryo Sagawagi, who I'm actually going to... I'll play as the two of them here in the Art of Fighting teams. So this basically is all the core major teams. I think the only character missing from this really is well-known characters is Iori, who who first appeared in King of Fighters 95, and he became Kaiu's rival. Kaiu Kasanika's rival. They're some sort of clan or rival system. So the stages have been completely redesigned, and actually the stages are really nice. Now there are some very nice homages, like there in the background you can see characters from Goro Mark of the Wolves, later King of Fighters titles. So this is clearly a sort of fan homage. In fact, you've got Mr. Big there in the background.
You've got Rock Howard.
Yeah, we've got Bugbear.
I think Vice is there.
We've got Raymond there.
Just wondered if King was there.
Raymond and the girl. Oh, there's Chris from King of Fighters 97 in the background. Oh, there's Shermie as well. There's Billy. So really, this one is this stage again. We've got quite So again, literally, all the stages in this really are literally packed with just who's who. Yeah, we've got the characters. The head of Nesta there, who he never actually fought. He was actually killed in a cutscene. The Nesta saga was...
No, King won't be here. King's a bad character in this
No,
one.
King won't be. I think he had Ragul's kids, actually. Yeah, we've got more Mark of the Wolf. Yeah, basically, this is just a tour de force of characters from the King of Fighters. Oh, this is the Pow Pow Cafe as well. Yes, thank you for the little facts there, Peter. Robert Garcia is from Italy.
I think it's about as close as you get to a double KO.
Yeah. Right, were you on the... I thought you were you're still on your first guy.
Nice. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you were on your first guy. There was nowhere near a double KO. So I think the only team here... The interesting thing with King of Fighters 94 is almost every team in the franchise carried on except for the Sports Stars Dragoon is playing as right now. The Sports guys did kind of peter out relatively quickly. I don't think they were that popular. So I'm playing as Kim Kapawan and his two slightly weird cohorts. It's Choi and Chow. One of them who's clearly modelled on like a diminished Freddy Krueger. And Kim Kapawan, who is from the Fatal Fury. So again, you've got Sony characters, Seth, all something varies. Again, it's just this base game is basically a homage to the series as it was 2004, which is technically the 10th anniversary of King of Fighters 1994. I think it's easy to see why Brian Battler and his cohorts didn't make many of the other games. I think they literally only appear in this in 98. I think the Dream one. It's literally, they were not popular characters in the slightest. Whereas Kim Kapawan,
I was going to say they didn't reappear till 98.
Yeah, and then they didn't reappear after that. Just double check the controls actually, because one of them seems to be both, and the four of them would be attack. Key settings. Oh, it is. Okay, that's weird. Strong punch half the time seems to be doing. Oh, it's both if you stand still, of course. You have to directionalise it. Yeah, the backgrounds are just a complete tour de force of who's who from SNK. So basically, if you know your SNK, you'll recognise. I think we've got all As I said, literally from Fatal Fury, games from Fatal Fury, King of Fighters, and more. Yeah, Heavy D was. Heavy D is probably actually the better one of the fight guys. Oh, he's the basketball one. He was actually maybe he. Lucky Gambler. I think he's got a few baskets. Gambler. Oh yeah, Gambler. God, what terrible. You'd think he'd be Lucky Gambler, wouldn't you? Chang Krohan. Yeah, I mean, Chang was just such a menacing character. He still remains, I mean, he has that, I don't know who, I assume he's modelled on someone. I do wonder if he was also modelled on some nefarious serial killer character with that iron ball. Again, he is quite menacing. There's some character running around with a massive iron ball coming for you. He would be quite scary. Plus the fact if that hit you, you would be probably dead with one single hit, so... Gotcha. I should say I'm actually using PS1 pad at this point. Ooh, ha 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 ha. Of course, PS1 pad is digital. Dragoon's using a PS2, so that's technically analog, which is slightly slurring. But if you want to grab one, I think we've got some stashed.
That's alright. So you've effectively cheated and given yourself an advantage.
Yes, pretty much. Yes, for those who don't know, PS1 pads work in the PS2. PS1 pads actually have digital buttons and PS2 pads have analog buttons, and as a result, arcade games are actually easier with PS1 joypads. In fact, Gitaroo Man was designed with a PS1 pad in mind, so it's actually... You cannot finish the game properly with a PS2 pad. You need a PS1 pad, or you therefore have to factor in the delay. So we've got Athena, who is actually a sort of legacy SNK character. She originally appeared in her own game. She's sort of some sort of, I think she's based on some sort of Greek goddess. And then she sort of ended up in King of Fighters, so she does have her own games. And King, of course, is from The Art of Fighting. She's also Ryu Sashigawa's love interest, King is. She was originally in Art of Fighting. I think she won or two. I know she's definitely in two. She may have been in one. And she's actually a bar owner, so obviously when the King of Fighters guys probably finish their tournament, they probably all get wrecked at her place, so to speak. So Saikenji. King's actually a really good character, especially with a venom kick and stuff. That's quarter circle back, by the way, Dragoon. Yeah. Again, Saikoi's also got some great salt kicks. He's also got, in some games, he actually has super where he eats health. This, I think, this employs the original Super System where I think, because you don't have super bars in this one.
You've got that bar around your character.
Oh yes, they did implement it, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm going blind there. But again, you've got that classic SNK style, the background's changing. This is actually a really well made title. I know it wasn't an official, it's one of those games that's not made by the core staff. So SNK effectively went bust in 99-2000. The last King of Fighters they released properly was 1999. The last King of Fighters SNK actually worked on was 2000, but they went bankrupt during the development, or they basically declared bankruptcy and were reborn as Playmore. So 99 is the last full one SNK did. 2000 is the one SNK partly did, but 2000 wasn't finished by SNK, and there are some elements like some of the new characters are absolutely rubbish in 2000. But 2000 is still actually good, and I should say we do have videos of quite a few of the King of Fighters these days on the channel if you fancy a browse after we're done with the fight night. Yeah, I'm just plugging our videos there because we do have other King of Fighters. I do actually have a full arcade playthrough of King of Fighters 94 Re-bout as well if you want to look at it.
It's also worth pointing out that half the development team from, well, the SNK development team all deserted SNK during the development of Capcom vs SNK. Infamously, during the development of the game, the team walked out.
I think that was during the 99-2000 because basically they all knew the writing was on the wall for SNK, so they basically jumped ship. So that's why a lot of the key SNK stuff subsequently moved to Capcom. I don't know how many are still left there. Capcom really doesn't have the development studios it did once. It really is a much less. Capcom really is not the company it was either. So
some of the fireballs are actually quite slow.
they are, aren't they? Quite easy to dodge in this one. It's not. Just got some. Yep, the classic throw. Shin Yosuke. This guy's actually quite a crazy character. He's basically the classic sort of drunken master. He is one of those characters you kind of learn to love. He's been in pretty much every single game, I believe. In fact, I'm pretty sure he's been in every single one. There's a few characters that it wouldn't be King of Fighters without them. Draw game! Oh wow, we actually got a draw there. That is... Oh, we got to replay the bout. Oh, this gives me a well advantage. He's really aggressive. I think my only slight criticism is the back characters are a bit detached from the background because of the art styles. You have the 3D art styles, and they did it with the Dreamcast ones, but the Dreamcast ones are really good. This one is a little bit too... Oh, I can't believe we just did that again. Double KO! Oh, wow. Okay, well, that literally was a draw. I'm impressed. So that's actually every character. You know, I'm just going to go with random teams from here on in for fun. See who I get.
You can't do single selection in this?
We can do, but we've got to exit out if you want a single bout.
Don't mind, we could try it. No, I mean custom teams.
That's a good point. I'm not sure, to be honest. So I hope you guys are all enjoying the music. Apologies over last night's stream. I was a little concerned over the some of the licensed music, so I did have the audio turned off. But King of Fighters does actually have some really, really great music, and I think the pinnacle has to be 96 and 98 in the series, and 99 as well is actually some of the really outstanding. Yeah, they had some great music. I haven't actually once looked at the manual, so I have no idea how this series is all about. Well, I haven't actually played as Joe. I didn't think I played as Joe Nishigashi. He's my top character. There's actually some quite nice foreground effects in this with the snow, so the stages are quite nice. As I said, they are 3D. They do feel a bit detached, the characters. This is one game that does support 480p on the... Yeah, we had copyright music on last night's stream. This one's actually... I won't be able to show you the history videos. We've already uploaded them to the channel, but I did get content IDs on them, so you do have to be a bit wary sometimes. It's not always clear. So one of the things, there will be a few games that I will have to basically do a video of prior and then test that we can stream it, because some games, it's not always clear if you're going to hit a content ID. And the problem with him, so YouTube's a bit weird. They want you to stream every single video game going by the fact they have the whole gaming page, literally the drop down, every single game going. But the issue we have, if you hit a content ID during a live stream, YouTube will kill the live stream dead. No, we didn't have one. I just had to be sure. I was being sure. I turned off the music because I was a bit concerned. I make sure that I know when we're going into games if the music's going to be possibly content ID. It's like this one, King of Fighters 94. I cannot show you the two history videos as they do use licensed music. If I was to show them, the stream would be killed outright instantly. It's supposed to warn you. But when I had it in the past, it didn't warn me, so... Here's the part we get another double KO. Oh, finally a super. Oh yes, you can... I forget, in this one, when your health bar goes red, you can pull off constant supers. I think at some point we will stream the Saturn's version of King of Fighters 96. I think we need to pick up most of them on the PS4 actually, because you have got the.
Order select. Battle in Italy.
Yeah,
Joe versus
Hydra here is a charge character moves.
Heidel, yeah, his move's quite easy. I think, I'm just trying to see. Oh, yeah, I think this game is literally a. Joe Hishigashi actually has his old version of his Tiger Knee and how you implement it. I think this game may actually be using the Neo Geo code, and then it's been readjusted because his Tiger Knee is the old version where you have to implement. Basically, SNK had some weird moves initially. They initially did some. What's the word? They perhaps didn't do some joypad friendly input. So his Tiger Knee, you had to do like a quarter circle towards and then a diagonal up at the end. When the problem with that was it often wouldn't register. I think the slash kicks like quarter circle back as well. Can grab the. Should say Mai is in her full bounce in this game as well, so fans of SNK will know. Interestingly, Mai is notoriously a fan favourite among all the male gamers. Well, that's right, Kaio's father was added in for this one, so Kaio's father originally didn't appear in this. I'm just going to let Dragoon practice a bit there for a second. Yeah, so it's got the older inputs for some of the moves there, which it isn't ideal. Well, I think that's because this game is literally it's using the original code for King of Fighters, so you can probably start pulling up supers like mad if you want there, Dragoon, because your health bar is red. Power Geezer! Power Geezer! Power Wave. No, it's Power Wave. Power Geezer's the other one. Power Wave! I should say we actually have the audio turned down at present, so you don't pick it up on the mic. Although I could technically turn it up a touch. Because it'll be so quiet, you guys won't hear it, but me and Dragoon will listen. I say, he says, supposed to say power, it sounds more like, allow me! There's some terrible voice acting originally in the SNK games. It was like hard to work out what they were saying. Supers are really slow to charge. You really only do them when they're like this. Not really done. Beat by two, beat by two. Does that mean we've won two? No, we can't. We can't have won two because we played more than that. Yeah, we had a draw fight, didn't we? Ah, yes, I wanted. Yeah, so be right too. I'm sure we've played at least 6 fights though. Comment you posted. If you posted, so I don't know if you I should know. If anyone swears in the comments, your comment will be removed. A couple of other acronyms I've removed as well, like WTF. I have actually banned LOL on the channel because too many people use it to insult others, where they say yada 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 LOL at the end, and often it's used to sort of laughing in people's faces. So just to avoid that in comments, I have taken that out. So if you say if you comment with a swear word or even use the acronym LOL, it will actually be automatically removed.
Characters select.
I have no control over it. I don't even get to review it. It just automatically gets reviewed because basically we have a number. The channel was set up to avoid swearing in the comments because that way it avoids people insulting one another. How she plays as the sports team. So if you say anything with something like that and just edit anything you think might be a bit offensive, it should be good. Heard one other guy say that a while back. He was wondering why he couldn't get a comment, and he put something in that we put in as a swear filter. I have put a lot of foreign swear words in there as well. I must admit, they're really not very inspired, the American team, are they? They really are. They feel like they're a team that... They feel like the one SNK team where it's literally like, what should we do? Let's do... I mean, this guy has this sort of gang... He does have a bit of a sort of gangster setup. Lucky Gambler. I assume that's supposed to be Gambler. It would make sense as Lucky Gambler. It was meant to be a much... I don't know whether the Western name's slightly different. I mean, it's not about the baseball, but I just think they're a bit stereotypical American, and they're just not. They don't. Well, they just don't quite fit the. They were one of those teams that didn't quite fit the King of Fighters ethos. Actually, already halfway through the stream, in fact. I'm going to tell a good game. You play it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Unlike last night's stream where I was struggling a bit with Zap. Admittedly, it got better as it went on, but it's one of those games I was like, eh.
To be fair, we haven't actually played this that much compared to so many other players.
Yeah, try not to put 200 words in the comments. Stick to about 30 or so max. You don't want more than a few paragraphs. Like, we only want really a paragraph. Stick to about 3 lines per comment if you can, Peter. This guy's maybe sort of charged.
Characters select.
Just wondering, can you play as Dragoon in this one? Or...
Yes, you can play as the bosses. I can't remember how, if I'm being honest. I think you have to unlock them. You can also play as... so I probably should have actually dug up our save file. No, this... Hi, Steve5123. No, this isn't the PAL version. This is the Japanese version. I don't think this actually got a PAL release. This is one of those... US Japanese only. Let me double check that actually, just to confirm in case I'm horribly off the mark.
If it did get power release, it's going to be 505 Street and one of those iffy releases that are so hard to get hold of. I remember being quite lucky in getting hold of King of Fighters 98 on the enhanced version of 98 back in a HMV in London when they were selling second-hand games.
Yeah, it's not a common game in the slightest. Certainly, That's why I imported a copy, because it's just easy to get hold of. Let me just see. So I don't know, 505 Street? No, I'm just checking. Yeah, it's saying it's US, the PAL, saying PAL got cancelled, US got cancelled. Let me just check it's not, there's not, occasionally they can be released. There were a few games that got cancelled and then you actually got wild copies turn up. I think this is Japanese only, King of Fighters 94. Yeah, I can't see a PAL one.
PAL or American release, I don't think, looking at this.
I think this is pretty much one that I haven't actually played as Clark Heisen yet, so I'll jump in as them. But yeah, this isn't a PAL one. Yes, so this is, well, it's going to be 60 Hz because it is the NTSC-J version. There isn't a PAL version. This is Japanese only. Hello Ellis Bitter, thanks for joining the stream. I saw someone selling a PAL version on eBay for 80 quid. You're not sure that might be King of Fighters 98, because that one did get released in PAL, and we have said, as Dragoon was saying, we do have a copy of that. That one was 60 Hz. That's an incredibly rare, the 98 Dream Team version. I'm just going to check eBay quickly while I'm trying to fight at the same time. Just
do the 5 doing the case.
One of the guys asking us to do team edit. Should we do that?
Yeah, we can.
Jump out of this mode and say, yeah, maybe do some single fights as well. Mix it up a bit. I think we could do with mixing it up a bit.
We'll get to play as characters from each team. Do we actually know?
I can't remember if this one. I think we certainly do single mode. I'm not actually sure. Some of them, the team edit mode weirdly is missing from a few of them. I know it was added in for 95. Originally, the original 94 is absolutely rigid with the teams. I think of all of them, my favourite mechanical-wise is probably 99 and 2000. I think they're the best two. I think music-wise and sort of original ideas, 97, 96 and 98. I mean, 95 is good, it's a little bit dated. 94 is really dated. 2001 is utter trash. 2002 is okay. 2003 is probably best of the last ones, and after that things all went a bit. It's the series did kind of fall apart, I have to admit. Let me just see that. King of 94. I'll be impressed if it did get a PAL version. I have a feeling you might be thinking of a 90. There were a few released in PAL, but let's see. Did Re-bout get a PAL release? If it did get a PAL release, it's incredibly rare. There were actually a few games that unless you're thinking of the King of Fighters 94 collection. I don't think the collection had. We do have the collection. I should actually video the collection at some point. There was a collection. Yeah, so there is the SNK, the Orchi Saga collection that includes 94, 95, 96, 97, 98. I will tell you now, the Orchi Saga collection is absolute garbage. It is basically like some PSP emulated version, and it is just the horror. There's issues with the screen resolution. It's got hertz issues. It's similar to the Metal Slug collection. The only thing is the collection is actually 60 hertz. And I was doing it. It's got some nice extras, but it's a weird one. It's weird because they did. So in Europe, we got the Orchi Saga collection. In Japan, they released them separately. It's 2 versions. So the Orchi Saga was only in Japan. So in Japan, we got 94 as Re-bout. We got 95, 6, and 7 as the Japanese Orchi collection. 98 got a separate release, which also got Power 1. 99, 2000, 2001 then got released in the Nesta collection. But in Europe, because we didn't get the Japanese collections, we got our own Orchi collection, which is just a bit weird and not very good. It was like the European publisher trying to have a go. I think after this fight we will try some of the single mode or edit mode if it's available. Yeah, you can play as the bosses. I should have actually dug up my save file, apologies. I have unlocked the stuff in this. I still think I have. It has been a while since I played this. We have done a video on the channel where I do a playthrough, so I think I've unlocked Dragoon. Apologies if I... Yeah, I was going to say it probably is 1998 because that did get power release. Said we do have a copy of 98. Very lucky to get Power 1 is really rare. You just got it like a second hand in HMV,
yeah,
wasn't it?
HMV in Oxford Street.
So obviously that was probably near Genesis headquarters and they were probably trading it in because they were weird. A lot of those... I've got most of the PAL King of Fighters games on PS2. They were really, really hard to get hold of in Europe. They were just really obscure releases. I think you had to buy them from Amazon or online shops. They just did not get released at retail half the time. But I should say this version is 480p. We are playing it at 480p, so we're playing at progressive scan. So everything's really nice and shiny. And I am using an open source scan converter as always to upgrade the PS2. So 480p, open source scan converter, lovely picture quality. Again guys, if you're liking this stream, can I ask you to hit that like button? It does help our channel in the rankings. It will help this video afterwards. So we've got quite a few of you there tonight. Really good stream actually. It's nice to have so many to join us for the Fight Night streams. We seem to be gaining in popularity, which is what I was hoping for. Do let us know if you've got any suggestions. If you've got any suggestions for games you'd like to see us cover on the Fight Nights as well, we will take up your suggestions. If we have them, we will do them. We'll likely do a lot of fight games, but we will occasionally do sort of verse games. So I think if we want to swap out, I think we're going to have to... I don't think I can back out Dragoon. I think we have to just pick a team and then exit from the menu. Yeah, I have to admit... I agree there, Steve5123. I'm not a fan of the PS2 controller either for fighting pads. If I'm being honest, I absolutely detest the PlayStation controller, the crossed D-pad. It just hurts your thumbs as you start rolling over it because you just feel that groove. It's just really unpleasant. It's just not that pleasant at all to use. I really don't like the... we've got edit verse. Yeah, let's jump into edit verse. Edit verse or single verse?
Do edit verse.
Let's do some edit matches.
Oh,
we have got the bosses. I wonder if I've got my save file on one of the memory cards. No, they're PS1 memory cards, so we have got we've just got the bosses. So I should actually say this is Kaio Casanigma's father. He was originally added in for 1995. He's actually a boss with Ragul in 1995, but he was added in exclusively for this special edition version, the Re-bout.
Order select. Battle in England. Joe versus Rugal. Fight.
Now here's an interesting one. Ragul's actually using his 1998 sprite. Originally he had a jacket on in the original version of 94. I'm not entirely sure. As I said, I think they may have literally just reskinned the Neo Geo game for the original Neo Geo coding, because like his slash kick is diagonally down and. Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's weird. I know what you mean. I don't hear that many people criticise the PS2 pad either, but the analog sticks are great. The D-pad is absolutely horrible for your thumbs. I cannot play really long fighting sessions without it really starting to hurt the old thumbs. So
yeah, because it's just grates on your fingers. I mean, I've always thought that since the PS1 era. So, I mean, one of the advantages with the PS4 is I've got fight pads for it, so we can play them without having to constantly catch. Especially the gap bit means you just constantly rub your thumb on it. In fact, yeah, I mean, I do find that one of the most uncomfortable pads for fighting games, the Sega Saturn pad will always be the best pad when it comes to fighters.
Nice little joke there, Peter. Yes, I do think Ragul's hobby is resuscitation, although technically, according to the official line, he got killed after 95 and comes back in the dream matches, but he's one of those characters you think, nah, he's definitely alive. A lot of people said he's one of those characters you expect him to like crawl out of hell one day and just go, I have come back for you.
Yeah, also, he's probably the most well-known boss
of the series for King of Fighters. I think he's the most well-liked boss as well. A lot of the others are really, really forgettable. I think there's just, whenever you think of King of Fighters, when you say boss, you just think Ragul. There is no other. I mean, yeah, you got Kyle's father here.
You've got Gianitsa from 96 and Chiori again from 96, but again, they only ever had one round as the boss.
I mean, you have, there is a Saturn to PS2 controller. There was actually some special Saturn PS2 pads made as well. I seem to recall them with like Street Fighter. They were designed for the Street Fighter. I remember seeing them around in the 2000s. I never got them, and I think I've got too many pads. It'd be nice to get one, I have to admit some. And we've got a lot of fighting game pads, so maybe you should pony up for a decent fan of Fight Stick on the PS2, because they are blooming uncomfortable to use, these pads. But yeah, I think when it comes to King of Fighters, we said Ragul, Gianitsa. I mean, you have. So the weird thing is Orchi or Ochimaru. So basically, that's the term for a snake god. That names you. It's actually a Japanese sort of snake god thing. So it's actually used in a lot of mangas as the villain. They call the character Ochimaru. So it's not just King of Fighters or Orchi. But the weird thing is, it's actually implied in the King of Fighters series that the real Orchi is actually Yamazaki. And basically that's the reason one of his attacks turns into like a snaking arm, because basically he's Orchi, but he's so powerful he can't be bothered. He only ever uses one arm to fight, and basically the actual session is he's the real Orchi, but he can't be bothered to fight properly because he's so powerful, and you've never actually seen his true form. And all the other characters that claim to be Orchi are actually basically usurpers. It's almost suggested like he can't be bothered to use his true power. So basically all the other characters are like borrowing his powers, like, nah, you can use it, I'm just going to sit here and kick your ass with one hand tied behind my back. He literally does have one hand tied behind his back. That was a good match there, Dragoon.
Yeah.
Characters select.
Oh, it implies Sari was actually... Yeah, there's some weird story elements that are often not explained. Supposedly, Kaio had a girlfriend that was used for summoning Orchi, I think in 97 she was killed or something. There's some weird backstory stuff that you never quite hear of that's sort of a bit, I'd describe a bit irrelevant. It's like if you don't put your story in your game, anything that's not officially in the game really should be regarded as uncanon, because it's just... it's a terrible way to tell lore. Oh, you got to read this comic book, and usually the people doing that type of lore have no idea what they're doing. It's a bit like 2 examples of games that do try to do lore. Destiny tries to do lore. Destiny 1 and 2. Destiny has some of the worst lore I have ever. I mean, you bought the books just to the completeness. They're quite nice hardback books, but the lore is abysmally written. Absolutely atrocious. It really is.
If you read any of the Grimoire books, it's like they're nice pictures, but they just make it's just gibberish. You know, and you'd think Bungie. I mean, I suppose Halo. Essentially, the lore for that is here's a guy in a suit who's a super marine who just kicks some aliens' butts, asses, and they have these giant rings that blow everything up. That about sums up the lore for Halo.
Yeah, just like aliens, super. So that there is some weirdness in some of the lore. I am now playing as Yuri Saka Yamazaki. She's basically the sister of. She was actually kidnapped in the original Art of Fighting, and then she was playable in. I think this 94 was actually the first time she was made playable. Maybe she was playable in this. Don't think maybe you fought her in the second game. So we're playing as the lovely bouncy Mai. She is definitely a fan favourite.
I mean, one of the things with this as well is this is Kai only has his forward sort of slash beam. In this in 95, it got turned into a flaming punch.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is actually based on the Neo Geo code because it's the old style Kai. They changed him. Was it? It's 98. I think they changed him.
96 was the first time they changed.
Oh, was it 96? I thought it was 98 where they start changing. The one thing I will say, they have mucked around a lot with the characters, so you may find that you like a character in one King of Fighters, you don't like how he was changed, or he or she would change for some of the later ones. So, I mean, Mai is actually one of the few characters stayed the same. They just, well, I think her chest size has definitely increased a few, but I'm not complaining too much. She's definitely the eye candy character, I have to admit, and she's supposedly Andy Bogart's eternal love interest chasing him around. Some people said, yeah, we'd all love a girl like that to be chasing us around all over the world.
Although infamously, I think it was 2000 or 2001, all the animation had the female characters with massively inappropriate chest sizes. Something that was a bit wrong for the series.
It's weird. You should balance it. So there are larger chested girls, there are flatter chested girls. You're going to date it delicately, and games often need to reflect all aspects.
More real shades of people.
Even male and female. So you get big guys, you get small guys, and sometimes I think if we're going to chat about that, disability is the one thing very rarely shown in video games, and it's actually rare. I mean, you could actually have a disabled fighting game character. As of yet, I can't think of too many. I think maybe you get 1 or 2 cyborg
Guilty Gear character's got one arm.
Well, yeah, but there's not.
Samurai has one arm.
Yeah, Guilty. One of the others was supposedly in like a coma, wasn't they, in Guilty Gear? But definitely something they could do more of, a slightly more balanced mix of characters. I suppose they're probably taking from the athletic sort of look. So I'm actually going to be behind. No, I'm going to be Ralph. I don't think I've played as Ralph. I think he kicked my ass before I actually got him. Let's do a Joe again, and let's get some King action in. I mean, the 2D art's actually really nice in this. I can't fault SNK's art style. They were very good. Okay, this one's largely a touch-up version, but they did a pretty good job. I think the King of Fighters series went downhill after SNK fell apart, and although there's still been more recent outings, and the new one's actually pretty good. The new one on PS4 is probably better than Street Fighter 5. In fact, Street Fighter 5 is probably just about one of the worst beat-em-ups this generation. Street Fighter 5 is awful. It really, every time I see people say, oh, Street Fighter 5, when I see professional tournaments being hosted for Street Fighter 5, I just think, why? Why would you be playing such a badly broken game with horrible collision?
Well, 2 stages are banned in tournaments because they can give you vertigo or an advantage in fighting.
Just other weird things like that. It's just terrible. Street Fighter 5, the collision, as I've said before, is just awful. I just hate that. We did bouts and we were finding, well, me and you were just having muck around bouts, and we found bugs with Street Fighter 5, with really easy bugs, and these are, there's basic collision with your characters. If you attack at the same time, you'll get all sorts of collision conflicts. It's just appallingly bad.
There's issues with costumes where the hit data is bigger for some characters.
Yeah, it seems to be weird for the hit data is changing per costume, which shouldn't be the case. I suspect that's more a bug, but that's just not. It's just one of those things, I guess. Yeah, I would. So, although I'm going to say this about arcade sticks, I've played so long. Although I do have a few arcade sticks, I tend to occasionally be a bit of a joypad fan. I tend to prefer joypads to sticks. Although I do use sticks on occasions, and you have to get used to the stick feel. That I will say.
Again, arcade sticks with square grids don't feel that suited.
No, you want hexadecimals.
You need a hexagonal grid, so it can be swings and roundabouts. But if you've got a square grid like the Dreamcast stick I've got, then it's just not that fun to play the fight games because it makes it hard to judge where the move, the sequence.
Let's actually get some supers out. Oh, this is super. I'm just trying to remember, because half the moves in this are just utterly different to what I'm regular for, so yeah, I definitely think this is because they changed his so basically Joe Hishigasi's super in the early games is some sort of weird cross movement with the sort of thing. The later ones it's just double hurricane. And it's one of the things you notice if you play if you play through the whole series, you will know there'll be certain games where you suddenly find the moves are much nicer to pull off. The early games, they are a bit rough and ready at the times. King's definitely one of those characters that's become quite a fan favourite. She's one of those characters that I think has really developed when they started doing the King of Fighters. She was sort of a background character in art fighting and sort of became her own. There's a few characters they really clearly tried to push and give them more individuality and character, and it did pay off. It definitely paid off. You know, I don't think we saw Choi when I... let's do Kim.
Order select.
So I suppose we're getting towards the end of the stream now. Would I recommend King of Fighters 94 Re-bout? Yes, if you're a fan of the series. I mean, it doesn't do anything particularly new. It is just an updated original version of King of Fighters 94. They add in one new character, but said the movesets and are actually from 94, so if you don't like the controls in 94 or somehow you set up, but you know, it's still a damn good game. I mean, 94 may be a bit dated in comparison, but there's no account for the fact it was a damn good game. And it was one of those games that when you saw it really did show you how dated Street Fighter 2 looked, because Street Fighter 2 by about 94 with Capcom turning out Street Fighter 2 expansion after Street Fighter 2 expansion, everyone got sick to death of Street Fighter 2. And 94 was a real breath of fresh air, although I have to admit I never really saw King of Fighters that much in Western arcade.
No.
We saw it a lot in sort of Spain. You'd see a lot more of the SNK games than the Neo Geo, because of course the Neo Geo hardware was a lot cheaper to buy, so it was popular in sort of, I think, certain European territories, and in certainly I know this at Brazil it was very popular, the Neo Geo, whereas it wasn't so popular in sort of Western ones that preferred the big stylish arcade. But the Neo Geo itself did work really well because you had basically the same hardware and you could plug lots of different games into it, and they really did maximise. Oh, just actually notice that character at the back, you have actually got Athena there in the right in one of her costumes, and we have actually got Orchi right standing there. Or was that Iori standing to the right? What's that? Shirmi. That might be Shirmi or could be Irori. I definitely think Irori's the one character they were going to add in one character. They added in Thingy's father. I think they should have added in Iori. I think he's the one character I think should have been added in for this, seeing as he's sort of... Yeah, I think he's the one character that should... Maybe Mature and Vice would have been a nice addition as well, because...
Well, Mature's obviously in this, because she's in the manual, and obviously appears in cutscenes, so making her playable.
Yeah, well, they are actually in 95 as well as secretaries, but they were never playable, so... They're one of those characters that would have been that weren't playable, but would have been nice. They were in the game, but they weren't actually playable until 96. So guys, seeing as I'm getting towards the end of the stream, can I say, if you liked our stream, please do hit that like button. And of course, if you haven't seen Randomised Gaming before, and you're new to the stream, I know most of you will be. Thanks to all the guys coming back for the streams. It's always great to chat to more people. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're a new person, however, and you like our content. We are doing daily weekday streams. We won't be doing any more over this week till Monday now, so we're mainly doing weekdays. I do take the weekends off at the minute. I will actually, I need some normal videos, so I will get out a normal video. Oh, that's just so nasty. I mean, that's the thing. Choi's one of those characters, if you fought him in real life with those claws,
he'll kill you with one hit.
Yeah, pretty much. I think we'll do 1 or 2 more bouts, and then we'll finish. As we were a bit late starting, so might nip another fight in as Ragul while I'm here. Ragul, let's... Joe, and... She's a Athena.
Order select. Battle in USA. Rugal versus Mai.
I do. I said Ragul Billerstein really is one of those characters that just defines King of Fighters. If there's one character that basically says King of Fighters, because King of Fighters itself has said the original game that's technically King of Fighters is the original Fatal Fury or Goru, because that is called Fatal Fury or Goru Densu, the King of Fighters. So that's one thing a lot of people forget, the original Fatal Fury. So technically, this could be argued this is Fatal Fury 4. Of course, it was kind of a collage of SNK games. This is one of those games where SNK did something that they did actually do something original, not just nicking Capcom ideas. So Capcom didn't do games where they sort of got their characters pitching it out. I think the first mix really whether you could brawl Capcom characters against one another. I think, is that Fighting Jam? Capcom Fighting Jam. Was that really the first one that offered it?
Well, obviously Capcom versus SNK had a couple of different ones.
But that's an SNK game. The first game where you actually had Capcom characters battling it out against one another properly in a fighting game.
Yeah,
I think it is this Capcom Fighting Jam.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2 again had a lot of Capcom characters in it. So.
Arguably, the X-Men Verse series may have been an attempt for them to actually combat King of Fighters, because X-Men Verse came out in King of Fighters in '94. So the King of Fighters was definitely King of Fighters came out before '94.
Yeah, he can't move his shotgun punch in this one.
Yeah, I mean they are very much backwards. The designs, I think, are also based on the earlier version, so the characters don't look... I might be wrong there. Certainly Mai looks more like her older self than newer self, but the original 94 sprites. Okay, we'll do one last final bout and then we will wrap it up. So I am going to pick Joe. I'm actually going to pick a strong... Oh. Right, pick Joe. Andy, and I will pick Kaio. Actually, no, I'll pick Kaio's dad, seeing as you picked Dragul. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the final bout. We will go head to head for the last time. So just to say and reiterate, I have been Random Gaming Riven. This has been King of Fighters 94 Re-bout, and as we play this final fight out, please do hit that like button if you've enjoyed this stream. And again, if you're new to the channel and like our content and want to see more of it, please do hit that subscribe button. I'm actually really going to go for you this time, because I want to get... Yes! Yeah, this I can highly recommend this game if you're a fan of King of Fighters. But if you perhaps want a first entry into the series and you've just got PS2, I would probably recommend 98 Dream Match or getting the Japanese Nesta or Orchi Sagas.
96 is probably my personal favourite, so if you can get... That's always
96 would be the Orchi Sagas.
Yeah.
I should say the Japanese Orchi Sagas, not the Western version. You can get the Western one, it does include 5 games on one disc, but it's just not particularly a great collection. I think you can get 2003 and 2002 as well. I think in 2001. Some got power releases, some didn't. I can't remember if I have 2003 on the PS2 or the Xbox. You can get so you can start getting the I variant. So once they stopped doing yearly updates, they started going to like XI. So you can get XI and you can get XII as well. Now I seem to remember. You can get King of Fighters Neo Wave, which we've done on the channel, which was like an autonomizer board one. That's just a really generic one. That really is not worth getting unless you have every other King of Fighters games. You must have them all Neo Wave. Well, it's got quite a nice roster. Certainly this has the smaller roster of some of the KOF games.
Indeed, the most recent game with PS4 is actually pretty good as well.
Yeah, the PS4 one's actually really good. I highly recommend that if you want.
The 3D ones weren't that great.
No, there are a couple of 3D. There is one 3D one I still have yet to get, actually. I need to import that at some point.
Maximum, we didn't get Maximum.
Yeah, we've got one of the Maximums. We don't have all of them. There's about 3 of them. There's like 2 versions of the Maximums. There's like 3 when I checked, but we only actually have 1. So I need to actually pick... No, there's a couple of There's a couple of Japanese only ones. I do know a supplier that has them, so... And you reminded me that's another thing I might look up to pick in the new year. So, well, not new year, in the next few months then. Let's see. Oh, yes, Kaio's dad teaching him a lesson at the end of the stream. They're saying something, but I just feel like saying something like, you should be like, son, you need to practice more. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for joining us on the stream. We'll finish now, but as always, I wish you a good night, a good evening, good afternoon, good morning, or wherever you are in the world. Thank you for watching. Smash that like button if you like the stream, as always. And I'll finish now, and we'll be back Monday with a new series of live stream videos, as always, while the current world situation is going down. And we'll have another fight night on Friday. And again, if you feel like you've got something you'd like to see us do something, please do on the fight night streams or the weekday gaming streams. Please do drop a comment on either this video or in the community thread where we're posting, and we will see it. In fact, I'll usually see it because I check the comments regularly on top of some of the other guys who do it. So we will try to get back to you if we can do it. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll see you all on Monday.